Okay, now we're going to spend a little bit of time with the quadratic formula. Now, all good Algebra 1 students know the quadratic formula. We're just going to practice a couple of problems with it. So first of all, here is the formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And of course, what I'm talking about in terms of a, b, and c are the numbers in the quadratic equation that you are solving. So the equation is going to be of this format. So a is the coefficient on the x squared term, b is the coefficient on the linear term, on the plane x term, and c is your constant. So in the first problem, we have 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. I think it's a good idea, and as old as I am, I still do this, to just make a quick note of what are a, b, and c. So in my problem, a is 2. Watch it now. B is negative 1. And c is also negative 1. Now it's just a matter of plugging and chugging. I'm just going to take those numbers and plug them into my formula. So x equals negative b. Okay, all right, be careful. B is a negative 1. So when I do negative b, it's going to become positive 1. B squared would be 1. When you square a negative, it becomes positive. Minus 4 times a times c. All over 2a. Once again, the opposite of b, plus or minus the square root of b squared, minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. Now I'm going to start cleaning things up a little bit. Here we go. Watch it underneath the radical. We have 1. Now look, you've got a double negative, so that's going to become a plus. 4 times 2 times 1 is 8. It's plus because you have minus a negative. So we have 1 plus or minus the square root of 9 over 4. 1 plus 8, 9. And of course the square root of 9 is 3. So we have 1 plus or minus 3 over 4. That's 2 answers. So x equals 1 plus 3 over 4, or x equals 1 minus 3 over 4. 1 plus 3, 1 minus 3. 2 answers. So this would be 4 over 4, which is 1. And this would be negative 2 over 4, which is negative 1/2. So the 2 answers to this problem are 1 and negative 1/2. Now, if you're thinking, oh gosh, Ms. Ford, I could solve that problem without using the quadratic formula, you are exactly right. But our job right now is to be practicing the formula, so I'm going to be doing all the problems with the quadratic formula. Even though you're correct, there are other methods of solution. All right, number 2. Let's see if I can do it right here. Now this one isn't quite ready to solve. Can you see what's wrong with it? Remember, to use the quadratic formula, your equation has to look like that. What's different about this one? It doesn't equal 0. So step 1 is going to be make it equal 0. So you're going to minus 6 from both sides and pull that 6 over to the other side. So now it equals 0. So what's A? A is 3. B is 4. And C is negative 6. So here we go. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. negative b, the opposite of b, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So let's see. We got another double negative. So it's going to be a plus under here. 16 plus 4 times 3 times 6. What is that? 72? 72? All over 6. So negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 88 over 6. Now a moment ago, we did a problem where we had the square root of 9. And that was easy because the square root of 9 is just 3. Now we got the square root of 88. Well, that's not a perfect square. So we have to break that down. Remember how we simplify radicals. So we break that down. 88 is 2 times 44, which is 2 times 22, which is 2 times 11. So 88 breaks down into 2 times 2 times 2 times 11. When you reduce that radical, it's a square root. So you look for groups of 2. So here we go. There's one group of 2. So I'm going to pull a 2 out. And if I pull a 2 out, one group of 2 comes out, I am left with a 22, a 2 times 11 under the radical. This is a great problem because now we actually can reduce this fraction. You can't do to this what we did to this. You can't get whole numbers or you know what I mean, rational numbers. You can't get that from here because you've got this root 22. However, you do have a negative 4, a positive 2, and a positive 6. So that will cancel. Again, you cannot cancel unless you can do it out of all 3 parts. We call it the triangle of cancellation. You can't just cancel these, and you can't just cancel these. You got to be able to do it out of all 3 parts. So if we take a 2 out of all 3 parts, we have negative 2 plus or minus root 22 over 3. And that is the answer to the question. Wow, that got a little wild, didn't it? Notice that when I canceled, the 22 was not involved. The 22 is not touchable because it is under the radical. You cannot be canceling things that are under radicals. So it's here, here, and here where we have cancellation. All right, let's try one more. Last one, problem number 3. Here we go. All right, so A is 5, B is 1, and C is negative 3 in this problem. A is 5, B is 1, and C is negative 3. So here we go, quadratic formula. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. This has been happening to us a lot. Once again, we got a double negative under there. So that's going to become 1 plus 60. 4 times 5 times 3. Negative, negative, minus a negative, so it's a plus. So that's negative 1 plus or minus root 61. And that's your answer. Now you're saying, well, wait, Miss Ford, why is that the answer? Over here we had all this other stuff to do. Well, the difference is 88 broke down. 61 does not. Do you understand that? 61 does not break down. So I can't do anything with that radical. It just stays put. No canceling, because remember, in order to cancel, you have to be able to cancel this position, and this position. And I have a -1, a 1, and a 10, and nothing cancels. So therefore, your answer is -1 plus or minus root 61 over 10. Okay, good job.